I didn't even have to say it. I didn't even have to say it. All I did was think it, and it's come like that. There we go. Let's see. Where's the?
It's actually raining.
Yeah, it is pissing down rain here at Suzuka. Here we go. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 15 of the Dynamic Knights Esports Masters Championship. It is the final round of this wonderful championship, and we are here at Suzuka in the pouring rain, it seems. Hopefully it just stays like that for qualifying, but who knows? It is Japan, quite famous for wet weather races. Also famous because of the fact it's quite a legendary circuit here at Suzuka. 5.8 kilometres and 18 corners make up this circuit. It's the only figure of 8 racetrack in Formula 1. It's probably Japan and indeed Asia's premier racetrack, a creation from Soichiro Honda, the man who created the Honda Motor Company, and John Hugenholtz, designer in the 1960s, a circuit designer in the 1960s. It served as a test circuit for the new product coming out of Honda. But now, with a lot of money, it's turned into a Grade 1 Formula 1 circuit, and it's now able to host the premier class of motorsport for over, I think, if memory serves me correctly, about 4 decades, ever since the 1976 season. But enough of that. Alongside me tonight in the commentary box, I actually have 2 members in the commentary box. On one side I've got my Martin Brundle, Mr. Dougie Falcons, and on the other side is one of the admins of the league and fellow commentator, MVC Alcatraz. Gentlemen, it is a pleasure to have you both alongside me tonight, and thank you for joining me on this quite wet Japanese Grand Prix qualifying.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It is a dry race though, as some of the drivers have already commented. So it'd be very interesting because all of them will be setting really quick qualifying times on a nice fresh pair of dries for the start of the race. But like you said, it's going to be an interesting last race for Tier 1 Masters. It's been an absolute phenomenal season watching these lads conquer no racing line, no assist. So it's actually been quite phenomenal commentating as well as spectating throughout this season.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's going to be kind of interesting. Hopefully, the rain makes it a lot more interesting for qualifying. I don't know about the race, but yeah, hello everyone for the classes too. So yeah, I was here for Abu Dhabi, and it was very fun. I'm here for Japan, as we have a yellow in sectors 2 and 3.
Yeah. Slow car, I think that's Plevs. No, Gaming. Oh, that's right. Gaming Waves are having to serve a qualifying ban.
Qualifying ban. It's not a bad one to miss out on, but obviously because it's a dry race, it still hurts a little bit. But yes, he had to serve his qualifying ban for an incident that happened 2 races ago, from the report. So it's good that he's following up on that instead of getting a big 30-second time penalty added to his name at the end of the race. Hopefully his car doesn't go out into the actual first turn. But if I get my stuff up, I'll be able to follow up to see who you're following.
Rightio. So, Mr. Aussie Rizzy Rick is the driver to try and set a flying lap, unless of course it's Toddster 99. No, it isn't. So it is indeed Aussie Rizzy Rick. He's coming through the second Degner now. Jesus Christ, and remember these guys aren't using assists either, and this circuit is typically demanding for the driver. It's quite a challenging circuit in the dry conditions, let alone in the wet. Couple of hot spots on this circuit, the most notorious of which is probably turn 7 Dunlop curve, the final part of the S's in the first sector. You've got this corner here, Spoon, very easy to spin out, particularly here at turn 14, the second part of Spoon, and also to run wide between 13 and 14 to pick up an invalidation because you've gathered up a track extending warning, which is ridiculous, but hey ho, that's Codemasters for you. 130R, I think in the dry conditions it is completely and utterly flat out. In the wet, not so much. And of course here at the Casio Triangle Chicane, and that bump, that god-awful bump at the exit of that turn that's caught out many drivers over the years, as Aussie Rizzy Rick has now claimed the fastest time, and no one else has beaten it at the moment. A 1 minute 40.020. He's 3/10 clear of Mackenzie and almost half a second clear of Amazing Hour, and 4/10 clear of Aaron, but X Revolution absolutely slaughters that. A 1 minute 39.210. That is an absolutely awesome lap from the Red Bull driver. Now, let's see here.
Yeah, pick up a point. 39.2 is a very good time on wet, and naturally, as it's wet, the times will come down towards the end of qualifying, as track evolution is quite powerful in the wet conditions. As you get used to the car, the tires, the fuel load comes down, etc., etc. So expect the times to come down a bit, just providing it doesn't get any wetter, of course. And yeah, at the moment, it's looking good for the Red Bull driver. Obviously, we've yet to see the new champion set his time, as he sets fast another sector anyway, but goes incredibly wide in the exit of 130R, as I mentioned him, and misses the chicane there. So, but yeah, we have the champion to set his time at the key mode on this lap, and we've also got runner-up, the Ford Frankie.
Oh, someone's in the wall. Crossy's in the wall.
I thought some of these reserve Tier 1 drivers would have done more than just one lap. Speaking if it's rain, do a few laps just to get warm.
Yeah, get your eye in first. But no, they're doing pretty much one lap shootouts at the moment.
Yeah,
Aussie Rizzy Rick did improve his time. He went back-to-back times. 1:39.7.
He did too.
Edging it down.
But still half a second slower than Revolution.
Does that suggest Rossi Rick has more fuel? Or does that suggest Revolution is just has a better pace than them? I mean, it's difficult to say, because obviously it's raining. Whether fuel was involved, but X Revolution seemed to just did the one run, whereas Aussie Rick did two. So...
Yeah, and Aussie Wizzy Rick's history of wet qualifying, he likes to do like 5 laps in his first little stint with with the tyres that he has, and just keeps practicing to set one really good one at the end. But you don't want to be too comfortable in these wet conditions when you go into a dry race. So it might hurt him in the long run.
I think Aussie Rick has put on form as well, considering he won Abu Dhabi actually. I remember from the penalty that Ford had from the race. So he's shown that he can actually fight it with the top guys in pace. So maybe that is actually genuine pace, even though he's only half a second down. He could show stronger pace in later on qualifying. So we have to wait and see what happens there. But obviously we haven't yet to see his set time. We've yet to see 40 at a more compelling time. An amazing hour too, and co, like Aaron. So, I mean, it's still 9 minutes left, but a strong showing from Aussie Rick from at the moment.
At the moment, yeah, it definitely seemed like that. Only him and Revolution in the 39s at this stage, but as Dougie said, times are expected to tumble. And if that's the case, Dougie, how far do you think they'll tumble towards the end of the session?
I think it depends really. Track evolution is quite high. It could go from 1 to 2 seconds really. It could drop to 38, 37. Yeah. If the tires, the fuel comes good to them. As you see, Amazing Hour gain a second. Aaron did a 39.0, so definitely probably going to look at the 37s as a probable target time for some of these drivers, maybe even more than that. Especially if the car comes to them, track evolution, tires, fuel, you name it.
Now, considering I've got 2 other gentlemen with me tonight, I might as well get your opinions about the race circuit. With both of your opinions, we'll probably start off with opinions of this circuit as you're a controller user, I believe, if memory serves me correctly. How do you find this circuit to drive around?
On the game, it's for pad, it's awful. I don't enjoy it. Not my favourite at all. I'll be honest, strictly honest. I just don't enjoy this track on the game. I think they've kind of ruined it in a way, because Japan never used to be like it is now. It used to be completely different on the previous generation games, like 2016, 17. It was completely different. Nowadays, I feel like it's a bit. It requires a lot of turn-in. Your car needs to be on point, precise, on edge, and that needs to be on more, especially in the high-speed corners, in the S's and through Dunlop and the hairpin as well. So, for me, it's never been a strong track for me, but I do enjoy the track. It's just like in real life, I love this track. It's one of my favorite tracks of all time. But it's just on the game, I can't enjoy it, get a rhythm. It seems to me. But yeah, it's if you can get a rhythm and you're on a wheel, because it helps if you're on a wheel, you can probably get a very, very competitive time.
Okay. And Mr. Alcatraz, as a wheel user, how do you find this circuit?
It isn't too bad. Obviously, the bump in the last turn is quite a killer. It takes some time to learn when to put the throttle down. But from the Tier 2 race, it wasn't too bad. It was a smooth race, but more or less comparing it to other games I've played like GT Sport, the track feels completely different. Like I don't have the big experience in other F1 games. This is my first one, but comparing it to like GT Sport's a completely different track. It's almost like it's a skill difference required for it. It's not as smooth as it may seem in real life.
As Zach Crichton jumps to the top of the leaderboard with a 38.8, so Dougie's right, this track is evolving massively. So there we go, two very different opinions on the circuit from one pad user and a wheel user. But yeah, it definitely seems like in order to be somewhat competitive around this circuit, you desperately need a wheel. It's proving to be the case at the moment. Now, 6.5 minutes left in qualifying, so we're getting to the pointy end of this session. Almost everyone has set a lap time except for the Gaming Wafer and Iconic Cube. Crossy is yet to set a lap time. I believe he was on a flying lap, but he must have invalidated. Mr. Falcons, I'm running on board with Crossy. Why don't you take us on board a lap here at this wonderful Suzuka circuit?
Crossy, he goes very wide to start his lap. Yeah, the only DRS zone, if they had one, but it's raining, so there's no DRS zone, so it's a normal straight. Yeah, as Tossa gets out of the way into turn 1, as it's very tricky, and as Crossy goes incredibly wide, and he takes the offline, but he still continues with the lap, does he? He does, kind of. I think he's backed out of it, but yeah, a bit wide in the extra into 1, but he's still going on.
Yeah, I think he just wants to get comfortable and just set a time, knowing that he has two drivers that have already crashed out or retired. So he might as well set one and just get comfy with it.
Yeah, set a banker time, but he's very treacherous, cautious, because coming into the curbs and not being aggressive. Definitely wet. Going wide in the exit of deck 2. Naturally, that's how the corner lies, and then you're coming up to the hairpin, which has a name, but I never knew what name was called for this hairpin. But there you go. Coming up to 120. Is it one?
Oh my goodness! Oh my!
Yeah, he really collected the driver behind. Oh my! So
Crossy's car very much roll there. Throughout that entire lap, the back end was absolutely everywhere. He was not happy with that.
Comfortable at all. Mr. Ferrari's,
you see the Ferraris on board. Yeah, it's sticking quite far out onto that circuit. But you can see the game Wafer, even with his qualifying ban, gets 2 free spots from it.
Yeah, Crossy should have just set for banker time, but it looked like he was just wheel spinning at 6th gear.
Tonki's gone all sideways. Oh, nice little save. There's a lot of drivers trying to just improve from their time, but they're pushing to a point where they are losing the back end quite often, where they're just losing that time that they're gaining back, obviously with track evolution. But a lot of these drivers, you're noticing that the ERS deployment's quite low to reduce that wheel spin in these conditions, rather than using hot lap all the way through, and just using overtake mode just on the straight, but the rest will probably just be in 3 or in 2.
Now, Aussie Rizzy coming past where Crossy ended up. Unfortunately for him, he's coming through Spoon at the that's not an invalidation?
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, for goodness sake, Codemasters.
Yeah, at the moment, Extra Revolution did set a time on the 38.5, did beat Zach's time by 3 tenths, so definitely looking at a 37 is going to be on the card, assuming the track condition actually goes in our favour. Aaron is still on his lap going through 120R, is it 100 R? Or 170R? Oh no, 160R, that's the word. And then coming through Spoon. And then, coming to the exit Spoon, gets a good exit.
Here we go. Coming up the old back... I guess it's kind of a back straight, but it's kind of difficult to have one on a figure-of-8 circuit. 130R now coming into the Casio triangle, hard on the brakes. The braking boards are missing on the left-hand side, so that will be a bit of a hindrance for the drivers coming into the chicane. Over the bump, not even full throttle going over that bump, nowhere near full throttle, and Aaron jumps up to P2, a 1 minute 38.6, so track definitely evolving quite a bit here. It's amazing how up.
Yeah.
Did he just jump up the leaderboard? Must have. I was 39 too.
He did go up to P4 before he dropped down to P5. So top 3 covered by 3/10 because squeezing in the middle.
Yeah, quite nice to see. Even in these wet conditions, the field is still fairly competitive, especially that top 3. Looking further down the leaderboard, we've got another group of 3 between Spilly, Wogboy and Stuart McKenzie. They're fairly close together. Swaggy, they're very, very close together, fighting it out for 11th place on the grid.
And Plevs is about to improve his time, I believe, as he goes up 1 spot.
P10. He improves by 6.5 tenths of a second, and that's only 1 place. Deary me.
It's insane, this pace.
Yeah, so like top 10 is covered by 1.82 seconds, so 2 seconds at the pace at the front is very strong.
You improve by 6 tenths and you only jump to 10th. It's crazy.
Yeah. Actually, let's say top 4, because I think that's actually a very compelling time, but you never know, 40 might set a time for Aussie Rick and Spitty and Oakboy, you never know. So
we're all coming out of the pits with 1 minute. Oh, I guess I have the timing glitch on the screen. It says 1 minute to go. I'm guessing there's about 2 minutes left in the session.
No, I guess he's left with a minute to go, but because I've got the same time as you.
Yeah, I think
maybe, more or less, the spectators have all just been finessed here.
Yeah, pretty much. I think so, because I don't think Zach is that daft.
Zach is daft. He's got
I mean,
a minute left.
He won the Drivers' Championship, and he's now leaving to do a flying lap with 1 minute left to go.
Yeah.
Not even that, 22
kind
seconds in my
we
case.
didn't see him go out and do a little bit of a celebration for the last race. He hasn't gone off to the side or anything. So he's keeping it quite professional. He wants to end it on a high and just finish this race with P1.
As amazing retired from the session. Yeah, from P4, that's the best he can do. See what 40 Rizzy, Rick and Spilly have to say about that. They've got quite an amount of time to find, about 4/10 of a second for 40 to try and snag P4. See how that goes for them. As X Revolution is now starting his final flying lap, coming through turn 2. Now into the S's, this would be a very tricky section in the wet. Desperately trying to avoid those inside curbs. They're very deadly, my word. Touching those curbs, you could see the back end step out just a little bit, but he caught it. Didn't cost him too much time. Through the Dunlop curve, turn 7. Keeps going and going and going. Into turns 8 and 9, the Degner curves. Flows it through nicely. I thought he was going to go out into the gravel trap, but he catches it nicely. Underneath the bridge, into turns 10 and 11, the hairpin, the slowest corner on the circuit. Only taken at about 60 kilometers an hour in the wet conditions. Now coming through 200R is the one that Dougie is trying to think of. 200R.
I was thinking, 200R, there we go.
Into Spoon, turn 13, runs a little wide but not over the white line. Into turn 14, the final part of Spoon, down the back straightaway in quotation marks. I actually believe this is the original pitch straight. I think they changed it later on in Suzuka's life, as there's a dead Ferrari at 130R, dearie me. Into the Casio triangle he goes. Now over the notorious bump. He'll be trying to stay to the right hand side as much as possible, and he improves by 2/10 of a second, but he must have invalidated his time.
He invalidated his time. He exited deck checked him on.
Oh, dear me.
Zach seems to have
crashed a car. No, he just he sent him to the wall.
looks like extra
Oh, and
resolution.
40's over the bump.
40.
Oh!
40.
Oh,
And Swaggy
40 and Swaggy. That is an almighty crash.
Wow.
And Resurrect goes to pole position. A 1 minute 38.505. What a great little bit of chaos.
Aaron doesn't improve.
Oh my goodness me. 40.
Aussie Rick takes pole position.
Ooh.
Ozzy cuts through that mess and gets pole.
And he gets pole somehow. Gets pole. Wow.
By 600ths of a second.
Well done, Aussie Rizzy Rick. McLaren get pole position here at Japan with X Revolution in P2 after invalidating, apparently, after the first Stegner. The map didn't show me that, unfortunately. I thought he was still on a good lap, but no, he must have invalidated. Aaron in P3, champion. The Masters champion will start from P4, Stuart McKenzie P5, Wogboy P6, Amazing Hour P7, 40 P8, Toddster P9, Spilly will round out the top 10, and we'll get to the rest of the positions once the formation lap starts for the Japanese Grand Prix. Oh boy, that was a nice little bit of chaos.
Right all at the end.
Well, in the end, I think Forty just lost it probably in the bump. And
Yeah,
then
I think he did too.
Swaggy was finishing, and then
Just
just
an
lost.
innocent bystander trying to finish his lap.
Yep, trying to hug to the right-hand side of the circuit like you normally do on a final flying lap. And just unfortunately, there was a racing point in the way and had an almighty collision between each other.
Yeah, and
As the drivers-
Aussie Rick steals that pole position.
Well done.
Exactly. While the drivers are tuning their setups as it is dry, so they use the dry setup obviously for the qualifying. I quickly made up the multi for this afternoon as I was sleeping on that and didn't make it till now. So multi number 1, Zach Crichton to bottle it after winning the Drivers' Championship, paying $7. We have the Gaming Wafer to finish inside the top 10 from his qualifying band. We have Haas to not finish last in the Constructors. And last one is a clean race, no safety cars, no virtual safety cars.
Okay.
That is the multi, and if you do put money on that, you'll win 229 Dynamic Esports dollars from a server night call out.
Alright, yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I like those odds. I actually like those odds.
Alright.
Not
yes,
bad
I
for
guess
the
we go
last
through the-
race.
It's actually not that bad, eh? I mean, like, I would definitely like have a go at the no safety car thing because I doubt that that's kind of an unlikely one. But we'll see.
We'll see.
But we'll go for the grid walk. I guess
Yes.
we can talk about the grid walk then.
Could you please, Mr. Brundle, take us through the grid walk in your
Well,
majestic
since
way?
Majestic way. I think everyone's going to choose medium hard. Let's see. So Aussie Rick is on pole position, sitting at pole position for X Revolution with 1:38.505. X Revolution in second, 600 down. Losing out by going invalidating on the exit of Degner 1, but still second front row in the grid for the Red Bull driver. And you got Aaron in P3. From Mercedes, ahead of his teammate, who is Zach Crichton, the world champion. Congratulations to him. He won the championship in the last round. We got Stuart McKenzie in P5 in the upper right, also choosing medium tyres as well. And we've got Wogboy in soft tyres. So it's a very mixed up grid at the moment. Soft to medium. As he starts 6th in the grid. We got 7th for Amazing Hour on the soft tyre in the Alfa Romeo. 40 in P8, runner up in the championship. Can you see up the grid? In the racing point, we got Toddster in P9 and Spilly. So they have a lot of work to do there in the 5th row of the grid. We got Roscoe in the second of the Hasses in P11, starting on the mediums. We got Plevs in P12. Struggled out there in wet conditions, but maybe his setup will be very good in the dry. We got Jock Dre at 3000. 13th in the second of the Red Bulls, so the second Red Bull needs to play a bit of catch up to see who can be able to move up the field. With the second Ferrari in 14th in the grid, Swaggy in 15th, Tonki is in 16th, and we've got Gaming Wafer coming up the 17th, Crossy, after crashing in the early part of qualifying in 18th, and Iconic Q starting on the hard tyres in 19th, so Aussie Rick starts to bunch to pack up in the grid.
50-meter board, I believe.
Nice.
That won't be needed though for the braking markers. It's pretty much a 75-meter braking point at the Castillo Triangle in the dry at least. But the drivers are now lining back up. Well, all of them have except for Crossy.
Gingerly coming through.
He's now lining up on the 18th grid slot, and we're going to begin the final race in this Masters Championship. 14 races have gone by. It's time for the final one to begin. It's not lights out, not quite just yet. The revs rise here at Suzuka, and it's lights out, and away we go for the final round of the Masters Championship as Aaron has jumped up into the lead of the race through turn. How on earth has he done that? He's jumped up into the lead of the race already. Aaron, L3, F4, that is an amazing start. To go from third to first in the first corner, that was awesome. Zach Crichton fighting there with Aussie Rizzy Rec for P3. It seems that the rest of the field gets through relatively okay, but we've got this pack here coming through the Dunlop curve. But everyone negotiates each other very, very nicely.
Oh, Gaming Wafer! Gaming Wafer crashes!
We have an accident. That's an almighty accident.
We have a major accident.
Oh, and we have another one as well. Toddster's involved. Both Haas's are involved. Dearie me.
Gaming Wafer touched the grass and his car just went spinning.
El Tonki, 5 seconds. Dearie me.
One of the runners just had nowhere to go. And I don't know what happened after that.
But no virtual safety car was called, nor safety car, so
we're still good, boys. Still good. The multi's still good.
I don't know how.
About 7 cars.
Leads. But yeah, like you were mentioning, Smeg, that start, he just parted the seas and just cut through second and first before the turn even happened, and he just stuck through it ever since. It's just phenomenal that he actually just got that grip. The softs, even though X Revolution's also on the softs, he just destroyed Aussie off the start, because he's dropping through the pack now on his medium compound. Maybe it wasn't the smartest of choices going opting for the second stop strategy. He's starting the mediums and
side by side. Will both alphas go through? I think they have. Very nice
softs
teamwork.
Just dominating very early, as they are fresh. There's no worn softs here. But crazy.
There we go. What
7 cars in the pits in the exit of lap 1.
After
craziness, the 2 Haas's are Linus Stern in the pit lane, getting a fix, as you mentioned, and Aussie Aaron leads the Grand Prix after getting that sensational start. He had such a good run on the initial launch, and then just went away with it.
It's almost like he flicked on traction control just for it. It was crazy. Yeah. he bolted off.
Yeah, it lagged a little bit on my part, but
yeah, it did a little bit for me as well. He just seemed to jump through into first. So I'll just quickly check
if you jump
race director. It doesn't say a jump start, so
no, he just pulled a Bottas start. It was just
perfect. Literally.
So perfect that we think he's cheating.
Yes.
But clearly he isn't.
So Oscar Clear is struggling on those medium tyres, because he's now dropped all the way down to from pole to 6 in the grid, starting on those medium tyres. Even Stuart McKenzie on the sim tyres has overtaken him. The 2 Alfa Romeos are now starting to go for the charge of the 2 Mercedes and that singular Red Bull. At the moment, Aaron says fast up, but Zach responds with a 31-2. So it's okay, it's going to be a 3-way battle for the win between these 3. Aaron would like to end the season on the high note, despite his teammate winning the championship. We'll see.
Oh, as Mackenzie goes awfully wide at turn 1, luckily he doesn't... Oh, hang on. What's happened to 40?
Like you mentioned, Aaron only has
40
one race, but 40's really absolutely dropped off the pace. He's gone into the pit, so... Ooh!
Oh.
Him and a Haas driver having some... tussling. Oh!
40 loses it.
Okay.
What is he doing?
He was not happy with, because he
had
damage at the start.
Yeah, he had damage, and he seemed to be trying to warm up his medium tyres on just before the turn, and he just caught the grass on the right hand side and completely spun the car. And then the reset to track made it a lot worse for it at the end of the day.
He did not have like,
and he pits again, and he sends it into the pits. He might retire the car.
I think he is.
He does too. Poor end to the the second, the person who came P2 in the Drivers' Championship with 344 points. But if Aaron wins, he might. He can't jump him. No, unfortunately. No.
So this is just for pride, really, for Aaron.
Yeah, really.
So you can actually beat top 2 is that for the race, as So X-Ray Revolution now has
as
DRS.
40's retired
DRS
car
easy.
comes out of the pits. Doesn't cause anything. Oh, he collects Aaron.
Does he get damage from that?
I can't tell if there was an end plate, but there was contact. No, his wing's fine. Maybe it's just a lime, but that... Hoping that is not in F1 2020 when you retire the car and the pits comes back out. That's just, it's the most dangerous thing.
I don't know why the AI would do it in the first
place. It is safer
place.
than retiring it on track, but...
There's a Renault in the... Oh, that's iconic Hughes car.
Yeah, he retired it.
It's just, there was a Renault stuck at Dunlop Curve in the gravel trap.
Yeah.
He's called it.
There's X Revolution's made a move on Zach Ryan there, into the hairpin. But a very odd start. Seen a lot of mixed reception between a lot of drivers here. Excellent starts and not so excellent on the other side of the field.
It's now like a 4-part grid. So you've got the top 3 of the two Mercedes. As Zach looks like he's about to have a good run coming up to 130R. He has a slipstream, he has no ERS, so he absolutely rinsed it. And he has trying to have to go around the outside in the triangle. Goes too deep and cuts the corner. He has to give the place back. And X Revolution still maintains second place, but for how much longer? They both got DRS.
There we go.
But at the moment, X Revolution has the better straight line speed because of the extra ERS he's got, and maintains second place at the moment. But Zach calls it on the inside. But still side by side, coming into the entry of exit of turn 2.
Oh, but Zach holds it
takes
around.
the position.
Wow.
Yeah, he takes it. Incredible move there from Zach Crichton. As he takes P2 from the X Revolution, thinking that he had the move done. Zach still had the grip on the inside curve.
That's a lot of confidence from the driver's champion. Do it around the outside into turn 3 to have enough confidence in the car to hang it out there in the marbles and to overtake X Revolution, who isn't exactly one of the easiest drivers to get past. It's a very, very clean and professional move from the driver's champion. Well, that's going on. We've also got the battle pack behind that, led by Amazing Hour, then Mackenzie, Aussie Rizzy Rick, then Wogboy. This is 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th as virtual safety car.
He's crashed into the final turn, yeah.
Yep, there he is there. Probably the bump, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Well, that's a fair way down. That was past a start-finish line.
Hits the wall and just the momentum dragged him across.
I guess so, yeah.
Maybe try to catch it, hit the other side. So we've had 3 retirees in the first 5 laps. Yep.
There goes the multi.
Well, if you want to get technical about it, it's not a proper safety car, it's a virtual safety car. So...
The multi did say virtual safety car.
Oh, so. Did it say virtual as well? Ah, okay.
Yeah, I went for an absolute clean one.
Righto. Well, there we go. Multi's gone. Righto.
Multi done. And he is a Haas driver, so they might be last in the constructors as well. So.
Well, the fellow Haas driver that's still in this race, Roscoe Arm, is 15th, so it's not looking good.
It's quite, yeah, the points difference between the bottom 4 teams is actually quite close. So we have Haas with 164 points. Just closely above them is on 167 the Toro Rosso team, and then on 168 it's Renault, and then the 181 is McLaren.
Okay, it's very close. Well, McLaren are looking good.
Because of Aussie Wizzy Rick's win last week, they jumped in from last up there, and he's showing incredible pace at saving the team in the constructors. But yeah, we've got 2 Toro Rosso drivers turning 14, so by the looks of this, Roscoe Arm needs to pull off an absolute miracle to finish above those guys and grab some good points.
So at the moment then,
Aaron has pulled away.
Aaron in 8 seconds is now 1.2. He has dropped and is coming down, and it's dragging X Revolution along with him. So cap to the top 3 is now 1.5 seconds. On lap 7, and it looks like it's just going to be Amazing Hour, Jim McKenzie, Aussie Rick and Wogboy for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. And it's our next battle group, and they're all together as well.
Yeah, and then there's just another gap slightly down where it's the two Ferraris with a bit of a gap to the next little battle. Yeah, like you said, Smeggy, there's a bit of a split between the whole grid. Really?
Got groups. Oh, it's Amazing Hour's out! I don't believe it!
Hour.
Oh!
He's crashed at the Dunlop curve! Safety car has been deployed.
Now it's really finished the multi, hasn't it? But yeah, he's absolutely lost it at Dunlop there. Must have caught the right-hand side onto the grass and the gravel, and it only forces you one way, and that's into the wall.
My word.
Not the first one. Not the first one. Drive-through penalty for Swaggy for speeding under the safety car there. So that's his race wrecked already. And yeah, it looks like he did what Gaming Wafer did in the first lap. Just touched the grass. Probably touched the grass on the outside. House went in the half spin, as you guys mentioned, and just lost it.
Rightio. So, Dougie, what do the top three do here?
Well, they could all pit. Certainly, you can go to the end of the mediums. They can easily go to the end. But this hinders Stuart McKenzie, Ozzy Rick, and Spilly, all the medium times. They now have to create the gap that they need to pit to make this strategy work.
This affects Zach Crichton as well, as he has to double.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Pit behind him as well.
So Mac is in.
Double stack. So X Revolution will jump them both.
Stuart McKenzie comes into the pits. He's bound to lose.
Just jumps Zach. Zach will lose a few spots here.
Where are you, Macca?
Ozzy was Rick stays out because he started on the mediums.
McKenzie onto the softs. Interesting.
The only one that has not hit is Ozzy Rick from almost the entire grid.
Good find. Stuart on softs again. Does he know?
They won't make it, obviously, but
yeah, they will not make it. But
do you know what he's
maybe
doing?
he believes
I think he's gonna pit again for mediums.
Oh, so like right now, as in he'll do just one lap. Yeah, right.
Do one lap, then pit another.
Or do you think he'll try and get to the front and just try and bolt away? Because he is the only driver in the top 10 on softs.
I mean, like this technically counts as serving your the two compound strategy, so I wouldn't. Yeah. I don't see why not try it. But if he wants to do that way as well, but he would have to build that gap, and then once he pits, he'll have to build the gap again, or catch that gap and group of car again. So
you believe he's doing to go out on softs just to save those mediums one extra lap?
No, he'll pit this lap for medium. So
yeah, so he's done a medium stint, then one lap on the softs, then he'll switch to the medium again. As Crossy has been disqualified from the session for ignoring yellow flags. He is out of the Japanese Grand Prix. We've now got 5 retirements, only 14 cars left, and it's only been 8 laps.
Are you sure Crossy's disqualified?
Yeah.
He might, because he seems to still have control of the car. So he might just have that.
It could be
a safety car kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be a disqualifying glitch where it shows that he was disqualified, but he's not. He's still continuing on. If anything, he's just driving around normally.
Yeah,
it's a very similar incident.
Yeah, he is.
It's a very similar incident that what happened in yellow at Singapore, where we had but there was a driver coming in first, got disqualified. As
Stuart McKenzie does pit, go on the mediums to the end.
Yeah.
So Stuart McKenzie does. And indeed pit and does his strategy, so he now just has to go to the end on these medium tires.
Yeah, good find.
Well done. Well done, Martin Brundle.
Yeah, rather than going on to the hards till the end.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't lost too much track position. I think from the top 4, he's now down to 10th place. He has got, well, effectively the same mediums as everyone else in the top 10 except for Aussie Wizzy Rick.
Yeah, who's yet to start. I don't see why Aussie Rick could have tried that strategy, what Stuart McKenzie did, and just went for soft. But maybe he's thinking of the long term, and maybe hoping for another safety car to work in his favour, but he's got the top 3 that were fighting in the earliest stint, or behind him on fresher tyres. He also got Wogboy there, who he was fighting initially. He'll have to create that gap again. Everybody is on the pressure tyres, so...
As Banana shows his concern, saying, is it worth losing all those spots for one extra lap of tyres? It wasn't because of the one extra lap of the medium compounds, it was because he started on the medium compound, so he had to do a different compound to not be disqualified, which Dougie wisely picked up. So, more or less, I was thinking of the short way of just an extra lap, but Dougie opens the book there and kindly wises us in to show that he started on the mediums, which I completely forgot. But maybe just Aussie didn't think of it, because I wouldn't have thought of that at all. I was like, I would have just gone, I don't want to go on the hard, I'll just stay out.
Well, after playing so much of Gran Turismo, I might have thought of something like that, because it's something you have to do in GT sport, particularly in Nations Cup and manufacturers races, where you are required to use all the compounds, and you tend to only do one lap on the hards, because the softs and the mediums will make it for the rest. With this, you've got to use at least 2 compounds. It's mandatory that you have to use at least 2 different compounds. And he started on the mediums, he had to go to another one, he switched to the softs, and he goes back into the pits, puts on a fresh set of medium compound tyres, which will make it to the end, whereas the softs won't. And he also doesn't have to go on to the dreadful hards, because they are that much slower in comparison to the medium tyre. So, no, it's a very good piece of strategy right there from Stuart McKenzie. And he's still in the top 10, so...
He is still in the top 10, and he's done his strategy. All he has to do is just go to the end. He just needs to do overtaking again. He's shown good pace. Not top 3 worthy pace, but definitely enough to get 4th. Aussie Rick has to build up a gap as best as he can on these older mediums and see what he can do. At the moment, it's looking like Aaron is on for a win here, providing he can get past Aussie Rick, and maybe Aussie Rick could probably cause a little mini train. That's kind of what he's kind of hoping. So,
as Toddster joins the session, is he still in the lobby? Like,
yeah, I am.
No, he DNF.
No, is he still in the lobby? As in, is he in spectator mode?
You
taking his soul. Nah.
I thought you had like.
Wow, Dougie.
The safety car picked him up and brought him to the skybox.
Oh, that's very nice to see, Mr. Toddster 99. It's a pleasure to have you in the comp box. At least 2 of the 3 members are glad that you're here.
Safety car is
Who's not glad?
Yeah.
Maybe Mr. Brundle might be a little bit disgruntled about it.
Whatever.
Safety car's in this lap as everyone else is not saying to fucking shut up.
No one wants to hear him talk anyway. Everyone wants to talk in the comms box.
Let's see how Aussie does this race.
It's about to get spicy in this race, boys. Everyone watch out. We have Wizzy Rick. He's leading the way down the main straight over the start finish line. He's got a good pull on Aaron here.
Oh no.
Here
we go. That's all the energy he's got.
I was expecting the hope that you gave me when I was doing my hot lap, but I guess we'll have
anyway,
less
we have
than half
Aaron
a tank.
rapidly closing in on Wizzy Rick here through the first couple of corners. Beautifully done there. I've started too much and I'm trying to speak quickly.
Alright, so Aussie Rick leads the Grand Prix still. And he's got two Mercedes and
What
coming
are you
around.
doing?
Oh dear me. Alright, I'm going to step in here and make sure nothing bad happens. Aussie Rizzy Rick is currently leading the way, lap 11 of 27 here at Suzuka. We got Aaron L3F4 right in behind, followed closely by X Revolution in the Red Bull. Unfortunately for Rizzy Rick, it hasn't been a very good start. He hasn't really pulled away from the silver arrows of Aaron. He's got him right behind his gearbox. Zach Crichton in P4, Wogboy in P5, then a very distant P6 is Very Lazy Tao, 2 seconds behind Wogboy already after 2/3 of a lap. Something must have happened between these guys. As you can see on the track map, we've got 2 distinct groups of the top 5, then pretty much the rest of the field.
3 distinct groups, mate, if you have a look.
Yeah, there is 2.
And he doesn't seem to have any wing damage, so he didn't get caught up in anything, but he must have had
it's Dr. Dre! Oh dear, this could be bad. Oh, he had a moment at 130R.
He's
Somehow
rejoined.
he's caught
the
it.
Haas has got it. Oh, no, he's alright there.
This is a
Wow.
position overtake for the lead. Aaron has the DRS, I believe. No,
Swaggy's
this is
come
not
in.
DRS overtake. Tries to go around the
Lap one
outside.
after.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Two.
Swaggy serving that drive-through penalty for speeding.
Just like to take this time to apologise to Roscoe
Roscoe.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not supporting the Haas team.
I don't know if you've caught it, but I ran up his gearbox into the Degners.
Oh, okay. Oh, on lap 1.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's what caused it. Okay.
Yeah, we
Just
only
a
saw.
misjudge from the F2 car to the F1 car.
So
yeah,
this
something
is
like that.
More or
like
less.
tries to go around the
Something
outside of X Revolution. Doesn't get the move done.
More a misjudgment of line versus no line.
Yeah.
Zach Ryan holds around the inside. X Revolution pulls back inside. Is he going to make a dive? No, he will
And
stay.
he gets the move done, yeah. So
He's made a few moves on X Revolution today.
yeah.
He's
Oh,
making it well
Gets a bit
known that he's the
tail-happy
driver's
though.
champion.
very
But
much.
I've got to give it to Aussie. He's still leading this Grand Prix at the moment. Obviously, he still has to pit. So, yeah, true. It's a very difficult track to overtake on.
Oh,
as
Zach
Aussie
blocked
goes
up a bit. He's
deep.
gone a bit deep into the chicane.
Yeah, I saw X Revolution.
Oh, Aaron's gone!
Oh, Aaron's gone! Aaron is spinning around! Oh,
Oh,
my god!
dear.
He's gonna have massive
Oh, no,
implications
no,
on the Constructors' Championship.
He's does a
he's
half
just-
spin.
Oh my god.
That
Oh, this could be bad.
no, not yet. He's done well.
He's done. Hopefully, he doesn't get disqualified for staying too long.
Nah, you get the ages.
Yeah,
He's done really, really well though.
but again, showing phenomenal pace throughout the race.
Bottas.
It takes one small mistake to throw him back down into the back of the grid. But Aussie was really holding his own.
Oh,
Revolution's
Revolution
gone a bit wide through his
far out. That was
That
close.
was nearly the same mistake as Amazing Hour did early into the Grand Prix. If you just go wide into the Dunlop curve there, you just got to get thrown into the wall every time. But
yeah, it's just unlucky for Aaron because it was the moment of the DRS zone. So he just stayed there like, for one more lap.
maybe he's just a bit excited and just put the foot down too heavy. Oh well, his finger.
Dre's out.
Dre's
Dre's crashed and
Crossy.
Completely stopped on
Such a
track.
mistake.
VSC, we've got a VSC.
And then Aaron jumps both of them before the VAC. VSC was the place. He'll
VAC,
take
what's
some.
that mean?
The virtual Anthony car, mate. I'm going to drive around for a bit.
The VAC. There we
I like
go.
it, that was very good. That was impressive.
But yeah, so Aussie Rick still continues to lead. With 6 seconds is the gap between top two. Alex Revolution is still there. They're about 12 plays now being dropped. In this VSC. Does Aussie Rick pit for this under this VSC moment?
Nah, sure. You want to go on the soft.
When is the pit stop for if you start on the mediums? What if you guys know?
18?
It's 18, 17, 18.
Back
Okay.
under green flag
So you'll stay for a
racing.
little bit longer.
Here at Suzuka, we finally hit the halfway.
Stuart McKenzie gets past Plebs. For P6. So Stuart McKenzie showing a really strong pace at the moment, going up to
As
P6.
Plez has got his DRS open. Didn't want to make a
Oh,
move.
Plez.
Locks up.
Here we go.
Holds it together.
Here
So like he
we
locked up the rear end there.
As Crossy
Seems to not be in control
has
of these
retired in the
mediums.
pit
He doesn't
lane.
seem good at all around these S curves. Plevs does, but
X
I
Revolution.
mean, they are a little bit cool. They're a bit cool in these positions. Pick up a 3-second time penalty.
No,
As
no.
Billy seems to see 4th place, maybe even 7th place from Plebs. I'm
Yeah.
getting my numbers mixed up.
He's got a lot of VRS too, just quietly. 100%.
Yes, he's got a lot of VRS, so it could be a slam dunk move. Plebs is struggling
Oh,
with
yeah.
tire temps, trying to get them up to temperature.
I had wing damage too on the first lap, so I wouldn't mind that. Why it was so bad. Because of, you know, the typical turn 1 heroes.
And let's see here. Very lazy tail is starting to gain on Long Boy, and
I go for a dive and holds it back. Interesting. As he tries to get past Rick. Lead is now calling a mini train, and DRS is now enabled, so it should be a slam dunk move. Aussie Rick goes incredibly defensive to try and like cover the inside.
oh, it's not
Zach
enough.
darts it down
Sees
the
a
side
gap,
as well.
sees a gap, dives it down the inside, holds it, hangs him out to dry, and takes the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix on that 15 in the Grand Prix, but X Revolution can't really find a way past to capitalise. So Zach right now can probably create a new gap while Evolution tries to navigate past Ozzy Rick for leading for second place.
No, that's a very good move from Zach Crichton. Aussie Rizzy Rick just opened up the door very slightly, and it was enough for Zach to just send it down the inside into turn 1 and ultimately take the lead of this race. Now, see how much he can pull away from Aussie Rizzy Rick with those 7-lap-old, fresher, medium compound tyres. How much time will X Revolution lose to Zach in the process? We'll have to wait and see. Now is he going to line up a move here at Spoon? No, he isn't. Let's see him.
Seems like he might dump it out because he's got to get a better run.
Oh!
Give us a little bit of time
He
slap at the exit.
lap. Yeah, he's got to go for it now.
So much straight line speed.
Wow.
With your record in Mario, right?
Yeah, that's right. Just maybe Rizzy Rick just bringing out the white flag, just surrendering to the 2 drivers in front. He's got a fairly healthy gap to P4, but ultimately with the pit stop it's going to chuck him probably all the way down to about 10th or 11th place around where the bottom 3 are at the moment.
That's between top 2 now for the yet X Revolution does have a time penalty, so let's see how that affects him. Assuming Zach doesn't get a penalty on the next 11 laps.
Let's see. How many warnings does Zach have? He has absolutely none. So it's looking good for Zach to take the win here at Suzuka, unless something happens. And this, as Revolution has a little bit of a moment.
Too much cover in the exit of Techno 1. I thought this car, he's going to stop the car for Techno 2. He's lost a little bit of time, but just over the second that he needs to be in the RS, so it looks like that could be race ending if he can be able to maintain and pull that gap back in.
It seems everyone has now calmed down. The gaps are fairly spread out. Closest is between Revolution and Rizzy Rick, and the Gaming Wafer and Roscoe Arm fighting for 9th place.
I'd like to see this.
Let's have a look at this. Gaming Wafer, Roscoe Arm coming through. Spoon onto the back straight in quotation.
Oh no!
No, Roscoe Arm left position.
Flagged out.
Hopefully.
That is lucky.
Well, the AI is on 90, so it won't lose a ridiculous amount of time, but...
Who knows, it might even make a move on Wafer.
Well...
Let's stay on board with this AI. It does slip behind. Are we going to see a darty move down the inside? Here we are going to see a darty move from the... The AI has just made Wafer look silly.
Roman Grosjean
That is just phenomenal.
has overtaken the Gaming Wafer into turn 1. On 90% AI.
Did we turn down the AI for Master?
No, it's always on 90.
No, it's always quite high. That's why J Banks in Monaco was making moves left, right, and centre as soon as he left on lap 1.
The AI is actually pulling away from.
It is. It's actually dumping quite heavily. It was on 40% and now it's on 22%. It's making moves. It wants to catch up to Spilly here. But obviously, if he doesn't rejoin in a certain amount of time, points won't count. But it's entertaining nonetheless.
I don't know how.
At the very least, it seems like he's losing time to walk. It was only a second off. Oh, makes us just catches the car.
Yeah, he's that mid-air and this allows Stuart McKenzie.
Equal highest position that he's ever had so far at 5th, where he's finished.
Oh, McKenzie's now going at 130R.
Oh, and they both. Oh, Zach Crichton, 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits.
That'll be cutting the chicane, I think. That will be.
Yeah, it might be a similar instance that what happened with Finn Kelly on that.
Yeah.
On that turn there, it's just this. Might not think it's going to be a 5 seconds as Stuart McKenzie gets the move done in the inside there before the turn.
That makes it interesting. So they now have to pull a 2-second gap on Sector Revolution, who hasn't done all race. So can't even do it with 9 laps to go. Sure, he's got a better pace, but it would take him twice. Can hold the gap now to be done. Osric still yet to pit, and you imagine he has to pit sometime around this lap. Next lap. In third place, Hockway would inherit third place.
Where would that put Zach? I'm I'm going to check the penalties just for Zach. 'Cause he had no warnings previously.
Yeah.
Except for one already. So you got 5,
Well, 5
straight
seconds.
up for that. And Next Revolution has 3, 5
Yeah.
plus 1. Aussie Wizzy Rick, again, no penalties, but with 1 warning in hand. Wogboy has 3 seconds.
Boys.
Stuart's clean. Tao, 1 penalty, 1 warning. So that is your top 6. So at the moment, Zach's going to drop down. We might see another Aussie Wizzy Rick P1 back-to-back from penalties.
We might do. Well.
Oh no,
We
from
might,
Abu
but he
Dhabi,
has
what
to pit
Brazil
again.
was last week, yeah.
He does have to pit again. He does have to pit again.
Oh, he's on 17 lap old meetings. Oh, he's still out.
He'll be coming in, I imagine, next lap as Wogboy.
Wogboy got the
5
same
seconds.
treatment.
Yeah, at the chicane, it's amazing, really. At the chicane.
Codemasters is having none of it. It's Zach, fastest lap. 1:31.0.
Yeah, he's starting to push now through that 2-second gap. So,
I think we're gonna have Roscoe Arms AI come back here on Wafer again.
Here we go. Darty move. Now Waver's going to hold the inside, so the arrow's going to go around the outside.
Roman Grosjean around the outside. That's what?
He keeps it.
Roman Grosjean.
Two laps ago, he's done a move down the inside of turn 1, and he's gone around the outside. Roscoe's got some juice.
We might need to turn down the AI for Suzuka.
Nah, I'm loving it. This
What
is
the
perfect.
fuck?
No incidents. It's clean. It's actually clean racing. He's god tier.
Maybe everyone should just pause.
Just pause.
Just pause for the race. It's too quali.
Yeah.
the whole game just pauses the race.
Is the AI particularly powered here at Suzuka? I don't think I've ever done a career
They are
race
strong.
here.
They are strong in Suzuka because they use.
I thought
they
they
tend
were
to-
reasonably weak when there's more turns in the track because of how many times
No,
the braking is inherited by
stronger.
the score. But yeah.
They're stronger in the corners because
Roscoe
they use
actually defends the inside and holds Wafer back. This is actually more entertaining than the fight for the lead because it's a
Really is,
gap.
isn't
So it's crazy because
Aaron's
Game
back
Wafer's
in
going to
that
go
mix,
for him again. Oh no, he's going to hold behind him.
too.
Dive
AI
bomb?
Yeah,
go
Aaron's-
defensive.
Oh,
Dive bomb?
God.
Are we going to see it?
Aaron's catching up to his battle of the AI versus Game Weaver.
As
all
he
this
cuts
is,
it, so
like,
he gets his 3 seconds.
Gaming, he gets a 3-second time on
He's getting nervous around the AI. He's cutting corners.
And here comes Aaron. Oh boy.
There
So-
he goes.
Oh,
Now
Aaron.
let's see what the AI does to Aaron.
defends?
Stays defensive towards him.
Oh,
And then
God.
Oh,
bursts
that's a
in the...
frack.
That was... Even gives Aaron a little bit of a love tap there.
Oh, man.
Maybe they're encoding their AIs for F1 2020 in this race right now, all the data used.
But yeah,
Because
Aaron
that
up
was
to
an odd line.
Hmm.
AI went super aggressive.
The Gaming Wave has been practicing with the AI on overtaking and defending, so let's see if he can be able to do it with a real person this time. As he's got Aaron all over the back of him, and the mistake he made earlier on now down to P10.
Here we go, down the inside at the hairpin. Oh, was that contact between the two?
Yeah,
No,
Aaron
it
was
doesn't-
going.
Yeah.
Aaron tended way
Contact,
too
but it doesn't seem
much.
to be damaged yet.
Fucking Romain Grosjean, driver
yeah.
of the day for Haas. What a drive.
100%.
Hopefully,
The
Ross.
smartest AI on the grid versus the smartest man on the grid. Oh no.
Here we go. Aaron to the outside into 130R. Is this going to be an Alonso move here for... Oh, Aaron!
my
not
God,
quite!
Wafer's left him no room whatsoever.
It's not wide enough for
Did
that.
squeeze
Well-
him out, but there was plenty of runoff, so he'll get him in this DRS zone. It just depends how defensive he's going to do. Is he going to learn from the AI he has, holding
has
that
to-
wall,
he
and then he'll
can't-
slowly squeeze back towards the line? He will.
Here we go. It's going to be side by
hold
side
that
into
line.
turn 1.
Yeah, Aaron goes a bit too
Oh,
wide
what a
though.
great camera angle they gave us. They gave me the
Yeah.
fire.
I had a different view.
I had the
I had
apex
the whole
into turn 1. It
I had
was
the
quite
whole
nice.
turn.
They gave me Wafer's front right tyre to look at.
Nice.
Yeah, clearly the budget wasn't ready for 4 comms members. You're getting
How
that
hard
GoPro
is it,
footage,
man?
man.
Just give me a good camera.
Aaron's gonna
Oh,
punch him again.
contact!
Aaron
Wow.
He's getting very impatient, Aaron. He knows he's
As Swaggy's about to introduce himself.
Hello, there's that
This is gonna get
McLaren.
really spicy here, boys.
So we have Swaggy, AI, Aaron, and Wafer. Because there's an 11-second gap.
Aaron, Romain Grosjean, and Swaggy.
El Tonki might have a go at this point because this train is not making. El Tonki gained like 2 seconds on that.
Oh, Aaron, that was massive! Oh, how did he catch that? My goodness me, I thought he was losing it then.
Yeah, this is insane battle now for...
So, is he going to make the same move? He's going to go down the inside this time. He's going to give him the same space he gave... He gives him a lot of space. Very respectful. And then goes into the defensive line. Brakes hard. Is he going to cut?
Yeah,
he will.
Gives the position.
And then the AI...
Yeah, it's rapid.
Does the AI take that position?
The AI is using all of
And here comes Aussie Rizzy Rick into the party as well. He's just coming out in front of these guys in P8.
Oh, this is phenomenal.
So, a 5-lap sprint for Aussie Rick. He'll be able to get anywhere.
Well, he'll be able to get fastest lap. You imagine he would.
Medium's a long way, eh?
Yeah, 21 laps.
You guys were mentioning 18 laps.
Done 21. A little bit over
He's
that.
known for keeping tyres for a very long time.
Is he really?
Drag him out. Yeah, very well known.
Toddster a little bit out of the loop.
I'll establish it.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Yeah.
You wanna do it? Are we doing it?
One time. We'll do it one time.
So let's just establish that Aussie Rizzy Rick is known for his tyre control and his management.
Oh my word.
As Swag's about to make a move down the inside of the AI.
He's done it.
And he's going to go for an over-under.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
AI's making moves, man.
Swaggy gets ahead of the AI Roscoe for P11. We've got Avian Wafer. Looks like he's been dropped from Aaron after all of that train and this is going on.
Wafer made a mistake too into the hairpin as well.
As Tails only 5/10 behind
Aaron
Stewart.
Aaron finally pits. Again.
He's probably going to go and steal the fastest lap as well.
Yep.
Tao going for his best finish here at 5th. If he keep, oh no, he decides to retire.
He gets straight up retire from the session. Okay. Interesting.
Couldn't handle the AI.
Not a very good attitude to have, is it?
That was it for Aaron.
Bit of a quitter's mentality right there, if I'm honest.
He was good for P8, P9. That was a decent result despite the accident that he had.
Because there's still a bit of a battle for in the standings, more or less, towards Stuart, Mackenzie and Aaron, because they were only a 3-point difference. So Aaron has Tao, great save.
Wow, how on earth did he say
basically
that?
thrown away P3 in the driver's standings there.
But who's fourth in the standings? What boy?
Oh no, Stuart and
Stuart Mackenzie.
Because Aaron retired.
Stuart Mackenzie, yeah, he finished P3, but X Revolution's still holding on to that 1.2 second gap that he needs. Swaggy and Wafer.
Through 130 yard. Check the 3 yellow flags.
Wizzy Rick.
He's made a mistake at the chicane. Like, not on the bump, but at the chicane itself. Spilly, a 3-second time penalty. Here comes Swaggy. Gaming Wafer, he's got plenty of practice at doing this. Swaggy to the outside, but that overspeed. Yep, too much for the Gaming Wafer to defend that. Oh, but Swaggy bobbles
right
it.
Wide and gets a 3-second time penalty for good measure. And Gaming Wafer gets past. So Gaming Wafer still holds into that P9 as we mentioned that.
Tao, a 3-second time penalty as well. And he's in P5.
6 total for him.
So he's potentially going to lose out to his teammate and maybe even Plevs as well. Somebody could check the penalties for both Spilly and Plevs.
Will do. Because we didn't check it previously. Plevs, we did just 2 warnings to his name. And Spilly, 1 penalty. Okay,
so Tal's lining up to lose out to Plevs, and he's almost going to lose out to his teammate. Teammate only has to gain 0.2 of a second. and he takes that. No, he will stay in 6th, rather. His teammate will fall to 7th.
And Wogboy has 8 seconds to
Oh, and Swaggy! He's around.
Ooh.
Did he have it coming together?
No, he just spun, looks like it.
Couldn't handle the AI heat.
Still going though. In 11th place, that will score him 10 points for the McLaren team. He's now back up and going.
The only battle right now is between Stuart McKenzie and Tal. Tal seems to come back. Stuart McKenzie now for P4. There's another battle for the next second Ferrari. Spinning Plebs. I think there's like 2 hotspots for battling right now, and we've got Revolution still within a second. And so Swaggy gets 10 seconds before
and retires in the pits. A lot of retirements here tonight. We're only going to be having 11 finishes. Well, that's if another one doesn't retire with 2 and a bit laps to go.
Am I saying this right, that if El Tonki finishes, this is his best result of the season?
You will actually technically get 10th because of the AI incident.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, maybe I rejoin. So he finishes in the top 10.
And
who knows? He actually might pull fastest lap here.
Revolution! A 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So that means even with penalties, Zach will win this race. He's only got 5 revolutions, now got 8. And even if they both get removed, Zach will still win. Yeah, well, that's if Revolution can find a way in front, of course.
2 laps to go.
He's narrowing him down.
Oh, he's gone Revolution!
Oh, he's actually saved it quite well, actually. He was just going to go spinning crazy.
Rizzirik, new fastest lap, 1 minute 30.239.
Claims that extra point.
8 seconds, so Hawkboy is only 9 point... What's the gap between Hawkboy and Revolution?
10.5 seconds.
10.5.
Yeah.
10.5, is it 10.5? Okay.
And Wogboy's got 3 seconds next to his name as well.
He's got... Oh, because did he serve his 5 seconds early on?
Wogboy?
Yeah.
I think so.
He got that 5 seconds for the same corner cut as...
Zach did, that's right. No, I don't think he has.
Was it? Yeah, it might be unserved. But anyway, even with the time difference, I think Stuart will be jumping him to have a podium finish here, unless Tao has something to do with it. Even with his penalties, just to beat him on track. Oh, as I say that, he absolutely does another brilliant save.
I thought he was gone.
Yeah, I thought he was going to the wall as well.
So we have to find after Grand Prix, 6/10 the gap between the top 2, but obviously we know the penalties as El Tonki gets lapped by the top 2 leaders of the race, but all El Tonki has to do is finish and he will get 10th place. But yeah, what a season. I only did 2 commentary remarks, but it was kind of exciting, those 2 races, eh? So, yeah. 27.
It has been indeed a fantastic season of racing. 15 rounds we've been through all around the globe, starting off at the great Hockenheim Ring in Germany. That was a very, very good race that unfortunately got broken up into 2 parts because my internet was garbage at that point. For some reason it's actually going well now. I'm able to actually do complete streams and not have it cut out at random points. But one driver has definitely stood out from the crowd during this championship. 2 drivers then. We've had lots of 99. I was actually expecting you to be a bit further up the field, to be honest, Toddster. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, that no racing line, mate, just really knocks me around, eh?
Oh well.
It's all goes for a dive. Execution goes for it. Execution spins.
Oh wow.
And here we go.
But don't blame him for making a move.
The standout driver of this Masters Championship season, Zach Crichton, wins the final round here at the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka Circuit. X-Revolution in P2. Wogboy, there we go, that 5-second penalty coming in. So Stuart McKenzie will ultimately get it. He will get P3, a great way to end the season for the Alfa Romeo driver. Tal will get P5 in the end. best result of the season. Spilly P6, Plebs P7, Aussie Rizzy Rec from pole position will come home in 8th with the fastest lap. The Gaming Wafer will indeed finish in the top 10 as well, coming home in 9th place. So at least one little bit of the multi-hit there. But what a season it has been. And indeed, the standout driver for this championship has been Zach Crichton, has pretty much dominated from the start of the season, and definitely from race 1 looked like taking the championship, and he has indeed. What a season it has been, and what a race win it is for Zach Crichton here at the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka. X Revolution comes home in P2 with Stuart McKenzie in P3. We'll get those two gentlemen in the combox for a bit of post-race interviews. And we also have to invite Tal. He made a request to come in here as well. But official results, well, unofficial. Of course, Stewart Inquiry will change up the order a little bit, I do imagine. Zach Crichton wins with Revolution in P2. Stuart McKenzie P3, Wogboy P4, Very Lazy Tal P5, Spilly P6, Plez P7, Aussie Rizzy Rick P8, The Gaming Wafer P9, Romain Grosjean finishes in the top 10, but obviously because of the AI, he doesn't actually finish there. It will be instead El Tonki will finish in the top 10, a double top 10 for Toro Rosso. A strong end for the season for those two drivers, and nobody else finished this race. 9 retirees, technically, because Roscoe 1 did leave the session and he wasn't able to come back. But, let's see.
I've sent the... So it was Zach and Tal, and was there anyone else to come in?
Stuart McKenzie.
And Stuart.
And extra Revolution, but yeah.
He doesn't have a mic.
Yeah. Notorious.
So I guess we could get Walkboy in Zoe's substitution. Because he did technically finish 3rd. If you want to.
Oh, if we want to. Zach has joined, that's good. If anyone else joins as well. Tell you what, seeing as you're in the party, we might as well start. Might as well not wait. Mate, congratulations on another win. What a perfect way to cap off a fantastic season for you and the Mercedes team.
Yep, cheers, thank you. Started the race in, 4th, then worked my way up to 2nd. I did a nice move on, I think it was Rebs in Sector 1, around the outside. I was happy with that move. That was cool. Then safety car. Shut up. And then had the safety car. Had to double stack. Went back to 4th, and just had to do it all over again. And unfortunate for Aaron that he spun, but yeah, that's racing, I guess. And had a great little battle there on the last lap with Rebs. Slowed up a little bit for that, and gave me a little tap, but yeah, I would have done the same for the win, trying on the last lap, last corner. So yeah, it was good fun, that race.
Belgium.
Belgium. Yeah, that's very, very true. Belgium Grand Prix in the Masters Championship, I do remember that. But Zach, as drivers champion, how has the season been for you as a whole? This experience with completely and utterly no assists.
Yeah, it's been a great first season here with the boys in Masters Championship. Love racing, first league race I've done with no line. It was a little bit more challenging, I guess. But yeah, it was good fun. So yeah, looking forward to next season, and it was good to be a part of it and to win it.
Alrighty, well thank you very much, Zach, and congratulations on another victory here at Japan.
Cheers.
We'll move on to P3. Mr. McKenzie, I noticed you joined the lobby. It was a fairly uneventful race, I think, from your...
Make you put him muted.
Have I got him muted? I wouldn't be that. How have I got him muted? Oh, I do too. Wow, how the fuck do I have you muted? Righto.
It's not.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Now I remember. Right. So you can hear me now. I can hear you.
Yeah.
So Mackenzie, P3,
That's the
mate.
most important part. That's the most important part.
P3. I would say it's been a fairly uneventful race from your side. It seemed. There were some moments here and there that I do kind of... Just take us through your race as a whole, your Japanese Grand Prix.
Yeah, no, well, I wanted to try something different. I seen that the guys around me were starting on the soft, so I was hoping that if we could keep it green for the race, that I could maybe just try and overcut them, maybe have them get stuck in a bit of traffic and be close to them on the softs at the end. But yeah, that didn't happen. So yeah, I was very fortunate to miss my teammate dropping it up through Dunlop. If you want to see a perspective, I'll send it to the chat after the race. But yeah, so I basically just stopped for the softs and then came back into the mediums, and then just got to the end. So seen once Aaron kind of dropped it on, once Aaron dropped it, I just let the pedal off a little bit and just wanted to make sure I got to the end. But yeah, unfortunate for him. Yeah, he looked pretty rapid today. Yeah, but yeah, as Zach said, yeah, things happen. This racing, and yeah, I'm sure you'll come back stronger next season.
Well, mate, it's been a fairly good season for you as a whole. A couple of victories here and there. How has your first season been in this Masters Championship with no assists?
It's it's been kind of a redemption cycle, to be honest. Yeah, I've had a pretty poor start to the league racing on 2019 with the whole handling patch right like 3.5 months into the game cycle, and yeah, that kind of really put me on the back foot. So once I learned about the Novice League, I just wanted to use it as a platform to just get a little bit of confidence back, get a bit of race pace back, and and I was able to do that, grab a few wins here and there, and secure P3 in the championship. So I'm pretty happy with that. Congrats to Zach and Bailey. A lot of those guys were pretty rapid all season, and yeah, can't wait to do it again.
Well, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary box, Mackenzie, and well done for a third place finish at Suzuka. Now, I believe we've got the head admin in the chat. Let me just make sure he isn't muted. For my sanity, no, he isn't. Right, okay. Any kind words from our head admin, the very lazy tail?
I just wanted to say thanks to everyone.
All good, bro.
Everyone behaved. You mentioned thanks to everyone who did comms throughout the year and helped set everything up, and it's gone pretty well considering how not serious it was meant to be. So yeah, looking forward to next season.
It'll be good fun.
Well, thank you very much.
Should be a treat.
Well, we hope so anyway. In comparison to F1 2019, we hope so. Dougie, Alcatraz, anything to add before we ultimately end the stream?
Alcatraz, I'm sorry, me and Andrew broke the streak.
Well, you still finished on a podium, but it's more or less you both didn't survive. But
yeah, I saw the multi.
It's still there, but yeah, multi more or less.
Yeah, I had to start. I was going to start the race at the front.
Yeah, that's on me.
I didn't.
That's on me. That didn't come out earlier.
I didn't even see the multi tonight. Zach cried in the ball after winning the driver's chair.
Yeah, I made it during qualifying. I was sleeping on it, so I had to make it quite quick. But
could have made it easier, like Haas to not be last. Come on, man.
Yeah, just on that, I think Haas will be having some discussions with their drivers
for next year.
May or may not have been some inter-team accidents today.
May not. Yeah, Toddster's already made it quite clear of what happened on lap 1, and he already apologises to Roscoe for what's happened. So
nice one, Toddy.
We've already cleared it up.
Full credit for the boys.
But yeah, I guess like it's been crazy, hey, like how it's all started up. I think my only final word on it, I guess, is that it's been kind of insane. seeing how quick it's progressed over the last couple of months, and it's kind of it's a nice way to end, being quite a bit more relaxed. I think it was being a bit too serious midway through, but yeah, it's kind of insane how this has gone, and it's credit between the two admins, Actor and Tel, that they've actually done all of this together, and obviously the drivers as well, because the racing that I was doing for commentating for Abu Dhabi, this has been incredible. And they've been very action-packed and crazy, so I enjoyed that. And yeah, that's all I could say, is that well done to all the drivers that were involved, and yeah, congratulations to Zach winning the championship. Deserved it fully. So yeah, that's all I can say.
Well,
good championship.
On that very happy note, I think it's about time we end the stream. Thank you all so much for watching. It has been an absolutely fantastic season of racing here on Dynamic Knights Esports. What a fantastic Masters Championship. 15 rounds of action-packed racing from all across the globe, and Zach Crichton ultimately coming out trumps for the Drivers' Championship and Mercedes in the Constructors. This will be the last race of the first season in the Masters Championships. Tune in, though, for events later on in the month. We've got some events planned, which should be a lot of fun. Until then, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next stream, and good night.
Ka-chow.